Hello everybody, and welcome to Ancient Architects. Please subscribe to the channel for regular content on ancient architecture, as well as all of the latest news from the world of archaeology. Machu Picchu is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world, a true bucket list location with its incredible atmospheric setting high up in the Peruvian mountains. This historic Inca settlement is truly a breathtaking sight, with the perfect blend of both natural and man-made beauty, with some fantastic examples of 15th century Inca architecture. But it's not the only Inca settlement that's built in the clouds, and there is one stunning edifice that rarely gets a mention, and that is Waqra Pukara. Meaning the Horn Fortress, this stunning site is roughly 1,700 metres higher than Machu Picchu, which is located around 130 kilometres to the northwest. On a clear day, the views from the top are actually more spectacular, but it's so far off the beaten track that it's a true lost gem of historic Peru. Viewing it from afar, and it does look magnificent, and it wouldn't look out of place in Lord of the Rings. And just like Machu Picchu, we once again find a blend of both natural and man-made beauty in one location. It's called the Horn Fortress for obvious reasons, with these two protruding rock formations at the summit. But its history is far less well known, and it's still quite poorly understood by the experts. It contains clear and obvious Inca architecture, but its origins are certainly pre-Inca, and it was previously occupied by the Canchis people. These warlike people thrived before the Inca rose to power, but after conquest, this site was absorbed into the lands of the powerful empire. Canchis ceramics have been found at the site, and these date back to around 800 AD. But more recent studies have uncovered evidence the Wari people were here as well, and then we find evidence of the Pukara culture. So it seems that Waqra Pukara has a long history, predating the Inca, but how far back we don't know for sure. But some say its origins may go as far back as 1500 BC. But it's worth noting that experts say the rock-built structures we find here today are all certainly Inca in origin. There is evidence the Canchis people did build here, making early structures and also roads. But after they were conquered, under the leadership of Tupac Yupanqui, the Inca built the main temples and platforms we see today. But what was this site used for? Was it a fortress like its name alludes to? Well, it could have been the last refuge of the Canchis people in resistance to the Inca, but experts believe its true purpose was not as a fortress. According to archaeologist Oscar Montufa, it is thought that Waqra Pukara was not military or even residential, because it's been noted that ceremonial plants were grown on the terraces below, which could be interpreted as offerings made to the site. He believes the Inca designated this as a sacred place, because that's how the site had been used for centuries. It was likely well known to the Inca that their ancestors had been there for generations, and that they viewed this site as a sacred location. The belief is that the Inca and those before them used this site for ceremonies, and that it was a place of pilgrimage for centuries. And Montufa says there is evidence in the Inca architecture as well, because we find something very specific: 3 recessed door frames within frames. Talking to the BBC, he said, quote, "This is only seen in a few places that were very important. Even Cusco, Pisa, Ollantaytambo and Machu Picchu don't have triple door jambs." He continues, "It is only found in older ancestral places like Morcalacta, Isla del Sol and Isla de la Luna. It was used as a place for special rituals." End quote. Some historians believe that during the Inca Empire, when the site was conquered, it was dedicated to their creator god, and it was also used as an astronomical observatory. Waqra Pukara may not be a tourist hotspot, well, not yet, but it was on the famous Inca Trail, and there are several related archaeological sites nearby, including cemeteries, caves with petroglyphs, and so on. This idyllic spot, high up in the mountains, was built upon by the Inca in such a way that the walls and terraces conform to the natural curves of the topography. These terraces strengthen the topography, preventing erosion and landslides, stabilising the wide flat platforms that were built upon. The two protrusions on top of the mountain are known as horns, and it sounds like a name given by Christian missionaries centuries ago, because to the Inca and their ancestors, they probably look more like the ears of a llama, and these animals are found all around, and they've been important to Peruvians for generations. Llamas were brought to Machu Picchu for tourism, but Waqra Pukara is in fact a natural habitat. I should also add that many natives call this edifice Llama Pukara, not Waqra Pukara, giving credence to the idea that the horns are actually ears. People have noted that from afar, the rocky outcrop looks primal, but when you're there in person, it feels very much like an Inca site. At the site there are a number of enclosures, a niche where something important was placed in days gone by, there are windows, stairs and canals, and what looks like a sacrificial table or altar. In places the stonework is magnificent, typical for so many Inca sites like Cuzco, Ollantaytambo and Machu Picchu. We already know so much about the famous Inca sites of Peru, but far less about Waqra Pukara, but this site does continue to be studied. We know its history goes much further back than the Inca Empire, and it looks to have been a sacred site for many generations, spanning the lives of a number of different cultures. For me, this is a new bucket list location, and maybe one day I'll make the pilgrimage. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Ancient Architects. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video, and please leave a comment below. Thank you very much.